Welcome back, people. Part 2. We was a bit shocked by Gunjan's story.
Revelation.
We were so shocked we had to end the episode.
No, look, it's just, I don't know why, but as a child I was quite racist. I don't know if it came from family or from people around me.
Do you know what? The more you say it, I'm still reacting the same way I heard it the first time.
No, because, like, it's not, look, I'm trying to be absolutely
honest, 100%.
honest, and for some reason, I didn't like brown or black people as a 6-7-year-old. Did that cut off? I think I cut out.
Yeah, you did,
Yeah.
but we got you.
We got you.
Yeah.
All right, but speaking on not personal views, how do our communities feel about dark-skinned, light-skinned people?
They hate it. Mine, they do.
Even to this day?
Mine, they... I don't know if we guys discussed this. I probably talked about this, but skin bleaching is a very, very big problem in Somalia, right? And a lot of women do it. And now the men started doing it the past few years. And when I went, was it 2017 or 2018, when I went to Somalia for about a month, I was just there, right? And I went as a very confident woman who no one could tell me anything. People were saying, oh my goodness, you're skinny. I'm like, no, I'm fat, but whatever. When I went back, my cousins were casually telling me to bleach my skin. It was so casual that if I didn't know better, I would easily fall for it. And they're like, oh, Najma, do you want to try this? And I look at it, and it's a concussion of so much terrible things in it. The bleach, do you know that blue powder that we put on our hair?
Mm.
It has that thing in it. And they'll just say, oh no, it will just make you, it'll lift you a little bit. It will just make you glow a little bit. I'm like, no, this will not make me glow. This will make me have skin rash. Well, look at your faces. You're not glowing. You all got acne scars, and this thing has damaged your skin.
Growing up, actually, I mean, I did know that people favor lighter skin girls. It's not too much boys. And I don't really recognize it until boys approach me. Like when they approach me and they mention my complexion.
They think it's something to compliment and to be like,
yeah.
Oh.
And it's just, it's never made me, you know what? I've actually never been gassed by it. It's always made me feel a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable.
A Bengali person has never called me fair in my life, and like in comparison to fellow Bengalis, because us Bengalis come in so many different skin shades and stuff. But growing up, the stereotype is that all Bengali people are like very dark skin. I can't mention the amount of time that Indian or Pakistani boys would slide into my DMs and be like, oh, you're Bengali, but you're so light skinned, as if I'm gonna feel flattered. That never made me feel that, like, I'm with you, Sharon. It never made me feel good. It made me feel like it pissed me off, if anything.
Yeah.
I hated this
comment on.
It's just never made me feel better than a darker skinned woman.
Okay, Sharon, I got a question for you. Your family, you guys are like different colors of the entire...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, everyone is a different shade.
It's like that Fenty foundation thing where you go from all the shades. So what is the dynamic in the family?
What do you mean?
Like, for example, for me, as I said earlier, with me being dark skinned, my cousins made it very apparent.
Oh, like, did they make you think, are you saying, did they treat me better? Or was I?
Or less, or yeah.
No, there's no way my mom would allow that. If anyone met my mom, there's no way my mom's going to make her child feel better or let us have that dark skin, light skin thing going on.
Yeah.
Nah, but other people did make it very apparent that. And do you know what, Najma? In a way, it made me feel a bit inferior because they'll look at me like I'm tender or I can't do certain jobs or I'm soft.
And that's good, isn't it? When a woman...
Well, you're lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it also happens in the Somali community.
You're tender and you're softer.
Yeah.
But that...
Based off the fact that...
with Evan here, is the
problem that we see it in TVs, this idea that black women are these strong creatures that they can do anything because they are black, whereas white women or light
Yeah.
because they always damsel in distress.
That's why they look at light-skinned men as weak, as a bit
And a bit feminine.
Yeah.
a bit feminine. Yeah.
A little bit feminine, right?
Yeah.
In my community, I think the fairer the better. There is no end to how fair.
Someone can be.
Yeah, someone could be. There is no too fair. There is too dark, but there's no too fair. I probably sit in the middle of it. If like after the summer, if I'm tanned, I probably sit on the darker scale, but I probably sit in the middle. I get people who tell me that I could be fairer, and I also have loads of freckles on my face as well, which I think like throws people off as well, because to them it's like they're like marks on my face, I guess.
Yeah. So is that a good thing?
No, they're marks on my face. They're like darks. How do you say darks? They're like spots. They're like marks on my face, like acne, like spots. They're like
Oh, okay.
they're like marks on my face. My skin isn't clear. My complexion isn't clear because I've got freckles.
Oh my Lord.
But if being white was the ultimate goal,
Yeah,
freckles are more
common in white
better
people.
you are.
But but probably. But I'm coming from in my community. When I grew up and I had freckles, people would often comment on them, and they wouldn't be seen as an attractive thing. And I would try to fade them with lemon juice at home because
Oh Lord.
I didn't like them. I would like lemon juice, or and like obviously being fair was so cool. And like as a kid, I just remember everyone was using like Fair and Lovely, and everyone was like,
You lot have Fair and Lovely as well.
Fair and Lovely is everywhere.
Oh God.
My cousin used to put at every corner of the world you go to, you find a Fair and Lovely.
Like, I remember my mum used to put it on her back because she used to wear these Asian outfits where she used to have a deep back, and she'd put it on her back because she wanted her back to be as fair as possible.
Okay, I have a question about Fair and Lovely. Is it permanent? I think once you wash it off, it comes off, right?
No, it's a bleaching agent.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a skin lightening.
Because I used to.
I have an auntie, and since I was a child, I've seen her use it. But her complexion has not changed.
Yeah.
I think it's to maintain. No, it's to maintain your complexion.
I just remember that it does. I've seen it work on my mum, and it did, like, as a child, and I remember it does take down your skin tone a notch or two. It is a bleaching agent.
When you put it on, I have seen my cousins.
Let's Google it.
For years. When they put it on right there, you can see the skin change. But once they take it off, like
Because there's like a white cast.
Yeah.
No,
But when you wash it off,
it comes
but
off.
I'm talking about like the face mask that you keep on.
No, I'm
And
talking
then
about
wash it
music.
off. No, yours is
But
like a
Gross, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I forgot my question. How did I just forget my question?
You were so sure about it as well.
I had a Bengali friend, and this is for Aretha. And that's, as I was saying earlier, that I didn't know just how colorism was a big problem in the Bengali. Well, it's not in the Bengali community, but how Bengalis are viewed, until I had an in-depth conversation with that girl. And she said Bengalis are viewed as the darkest. Or not the darkest, but you have Tamil people who are darker, but Bengalis are put in that darker category. And she had a Pakistani boyfriend, and his mum flat out said, no, she's too dark.
I've heard hundreds of stories like that about people. Bengali guys.
And she said there's another friend and who's Bengali, and her boyfriend was Pakistani, and she was like, yeah, that was allowed because she's a very, very light-skinned, very fair Bengali girl, so she could almost pass for Pakistani.
Yeah, that's very common. I've heard that amongst lots of Bengali people that have ended up marrying or attempted to marry a Pakistani person. We are viewed as, like, it's a stereotype that we're all dark-skinned. So I think when it comes to a man's skin complexion, no one ever says he's too dark. No one. And you do get some very dark-skinned Bengali men. But when I remember I'm old enough to remember when my aunt, who's now in her 30s, was getting married. I remember comments like that were thrown around that she's too dark. But now that my cousins that are around my age bracket, I've never heard a single complexion thing being brought up. So I think times are changing.
That the people your generation, how are they with the colorism?
Yeah, I don't find colorism as a thing in my generation at all. But to be absolutely honest, I don't know how it is for other people. When I'm out in the sun for longer than 5-10 minutes, I'm still a bit paranoid because as a child, my mom would be like, "Don't play in the sun for too long because you'll get too tanned." That still is something that I have to process and push down and push against in my
Can
life.
I ask you guys a question used to my Asian lot?
All questions.
How does the Asian community see black people? Because obviously you lot have just said if anyone is darker than used to, they're unattractive. So
You mean what's their opinion on black skin
yeah.
tone?
Black people, yeah.
To be absolutely honest, I don't ever remember anyone expressing an opinion on black people's skin tones. It's not even, I've never heard, like I'm trying to like rack my brain. I don't remember anyone ever mentioning black people's skin tones. They only care about themselves.
Okay, I know where Sharon's getting at.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
racism that are targeted towards black people in the Asian community is very alive and thriving.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I don't know if it's related to
Skin tone.
Well, it is. I've had a few people tell me if I was a dark-skinned black woman, I would the Asian boys I'm getting would not be looking at me.
As in they wouldn't find you attractive?
Yeah.
I've got quite a few dark-skinned black girlfriends up in Northampton, and they all are like you, and they always get attention from Asian boys and Asian boys only. I've never actually heard.
Well, like Sharon.
They're way darker than her, and they only like get attention from Asian boys. They only go out with Asian boys.
No, there's always exceptions, 100%. But let's keep it 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I do agree with the fact that a lighter skinned black woman would find it easier to marry an Asian guy than a darker skinned black woman.
There you go. I think a race truly accepts another race when they start dating and intermarrying and things like that. For as long as there's there's not a true acceptance.
Gross. Yeah. How would an Afghan, your typical Afghan, your average Afghan, accept a black girl or a black man?
They wouldn't. They barely. Afghan Sikhs barely accept non-Afghans. Never mind
a black woman.
A black woman. They don't accept. They like struggle. They struggle to accept Indians. They struggle to accept other cultures. Never mind a black person who's on.
Never mind a black person.
Because we're just talking about beauty standards, right? But for them, the fairer the better. And if black people fall on the other
well, if it was a fair black person though, because black people do come.
In my community, they don't care. They don't care.
It's anti-blackness then rather than colorism.
Yeah.
I know personally have seen loads of Indian people. They date white people quite a bit. Some of them dabble in the black people every now and then. But it's easier for a white person. In every community in the US, it's easier for a white person to walk into a family than anyone else.
Yeah.
Because they are that exceptional beauty, because no matter how ugly they are, they have that light skin.
Not even an exceptional beauty. We live in England where white people are like considered the shit, right? Like speaking from someone who came from like who immigrated to England, right? White people are like, they were born here, they grew up here, this is
They are the shit. You said it.
This is their land,
This
whatever.
is their country, yeah.
So they come with all their privilege. They come walk into your family. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Afghan community. They still wouldn't accept a white person either, by the way. But as a fellow Asian, I can see why white people are probably more accepted, because they're seen as more up there in the, I don't know, not the hierarchy, but like,
I know what you're saying.
White people colonize the world and set the beauty standards. That is why they are so easily accepted into every single race that they try to get into. That's just a
it's better,
point blank period.
maybe.
Yeah, they are the threshold.
Would your family be upset if you bought, I'm talking to all you guys, if you brought someone home that wasn't from your country or your continent even?
Well, I have.
Funny thing, going away from colorism, it might be religion. Religion might be the only
I was
thing.
going to say, yeah, in my house, I don't think my mum cares what race my spouse is. I think she only cares about his religion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't make it out
okay.
alive. I would not make it out alive if I brought home a black man, a white man,
A Muslim?
a Muslim, anything that wasn't Afghan Sikh or at least Indian Sikh. I wouldn't make it out alive. I wouldn't.
Okay. 1 second.
Maybe we should,
Minutes left.
Going
maybe we
to
should end the conversation on that note.
Yeah, we'll end the conversation on that note.
Got a lot to think about.
Yeah.
what I do.
I
Well,
got some real shit going on here, man.
that was very entertaining. But I would like to leave a word of advice before we go to every young person out there. Love your body. Nobody's perfect. Your body is your body. It's the one that keeps you alive, the one that nourishes you, the one that you have. It doesn't matter how good someone else's body is, it's not yours.
And beauty standards come and go. Please remember
Hey,
that.
with the sun coming up and down. So what beautiful today, we were made fun of having big lips, now everyone wants big lips. We were made fun of having big butts, now everyone wants big butts. And that's matter of time, there will be another one coming in.
And you know,
So,
it's easy.
yeah.
I feel like you can. It's one thing to block out what society says, and another to block out your what your family says. Don't listen to what your mum and your auntie say how you have to look.
No.
Don't listen to it.
Or
Just be happy
boys.
with yourself. Or boys.
Oh boy.
Please, if I can give you one piece of advice, is never listen to what boys have to say about the way you look. Please.
No.
And actually, women everywhere, why don't you want to find a boy who loves you for you? Why do we always want to go for a boy that likes
Amen.
love? Go find a
Amen.
man who wants you for you, who wants you for everything that you are.
Be kind to yourself. Be
The world.
kind to yourself. We live in a world that holds women down, keeps us down, steps on our heads. We cannot have that on top of.
And Instagram is not real.
No.
Okay?
It's not.
Listen.
Bullshit. Bullshit, man.
Every time I upload a picture on Instagram, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, lies.
That in Sharon Insta is
You
all
can
a
get
lie.
body tune, you can get body tune, you can get all these things, and I'm telling you now, not a single picture you see on Instagram is real. They're all touched, they're
Do you know
all
what I mean?
edited.
It's angles as well. Like, I'm not walking around every day like,
With your stomach
Posing all angular and shit.
Honestly.
We hope you feel confident after this episode.
Yeah.
I actually do.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel very like pumped up suddenly.
Women everywhere are beautiful. I cannot tell you there's a single ugly woman out there. We have this beauty, this radiance to us. So let's just love it.
It depends on your attitude. Your attitude makes you ugly.
Pride, love, confidence, and no one can tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
You
Well,
are the shit.
Everything is beautiful. Your stretch marks, your cellulite,
your hip dips, all of that.
everything.
Tips.
I don't know. I've only
Your
I've
bum
only
dimples,
seen them discussed
I
recently.
quite like my Venus dimples thing.
your saggy boobs,
What are Venus dimples?
your bingo wings. Love it.
Love handles. This could carry me to Spain. I love it.
Right. See you
Right.
next week. Stay messy.
Bye.
See you next week. I really